A disturbing discovery is made when law enforcement uncovers a hidden site of captivity and torment.
Excuse. Come outside, please, all of you. Everybody, please, move it out.
Policemen arrive at the scene, investigate, and discover a hidden soak-away pit containing captives who appear to be traumatized and unkept.
No, don't carry it like this. Please, shift him. No. You can go back inside. Shift it. No, shift it, please. Shift him.
Police rescue the captives from the pit, providing medical attention and comfort.
Shift him, what now? Ross, shift him. Come back from that place.
The kidnappers are apprehended and taken into custody.
Shift your style. It's okay. Please, they can come outside. Give your hand to them. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Watch as a daring daylight kidnapping attempt unfolds.
The people not there yet. They not go. They say not do anything. Wow.
Where's the big drama?
The group of kidnappers try to abduct an individual in broad daylight, using force and intimidation to try to put the victim into their vehicle. The kidnappers abandon their plan and release the victim, likely due to the presence of witnesses and the public who were questioning them. What begins as an ordinary day quickly escalates into a terrifying encounter as armed men close in on their target.
Listen before I come.
A group of armed men suddenly appear and surround the woman. The men grab the woman and initiate the abduction.
Ah, Jesus.
I don't noise.
AK-47 on Sunday morning.
No sense in Abuja people.
See this guy don't cover. See AK-47.
Now to call police first.
This one not be
Si pompi.
The woman attempts to struggle free as the men drag her away at gunpoint.
Now be say vigilante made the waka this waka, say they don't carry a bag. My bag, they don't carry a bag.
Bless your phone.
The phone, everything.
Jesus. Bless it. Say I'm not saying. Call them no. They twist the gate. When the gate, now call they say. Where?
I follow body.
This soldier.
Turn about to that. We'll see where they go.
Watch as a split-second act of bravery saves the day. A man enters a store and approaches a mother holding a baby, attempting to grab the infant from her arms. Construction workers nearby witness the attempted abduction and immediately intervene, chasing the suspect away and protecting the mother and baby from harm.
je не поняла такое слово. Может, ее мать-то. Не знаю, если трус, то это.
In broad daylight, a terrifying and brazen abduction unfolds in the middle of a busy street.
¡Ey, ey! ¡Suéltalo! 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 ¡Suéltalo!
A group of men forcefully abduct a group of men from their own vehicle in broad daylight, using physical force and intimidation.
¡Suéltalo! ¡A la bola! ¡A la bola de la dictadura! ¡Van ahí todos muertos, hijo de puta! ¡La venganza es un...
The assailants hijack the vehicle, taking control of it and driving away, leaving the abducted men's fate uncertain and causing a disturbing scene.
¡Se les queda poco tiempo, hijo de puta! ¡Hijo de puta! ¡Choros de mierda! ¡Secuestraron a alguien! ¡Secuestraron a alguien!
A moment of pure terror unfolds on a seemingly ordinary street. Terrifying screams echo outside a neighborhood, alerting residents to a distressing scene, an attempted kidnapping of a young woman who desperately tries to resist her abductor. Despite the commotion, neighbors emerge from their homes, witnessing the struggle. But unfortunately, no one intervenes or comes to the woman's aid, leaving her to fend off her attacker alone. In a shocking turn of events, a man's freedom is snatched away. Mohammed Zaidan is approached and abducted by two men in Fordsa Berg, Johannesburg. They gently head over to him, then lead him to a car, with two other men waiting by a black car which drives away with him. In an instant, a routine drive turns into a terrifying ordeal as kidnappers strike without warning. On a crowded road, kidnappers suddenly storm into the victim's car, seizing control of the vehicle in a shocking and swift takeover. With the door slammed shut, the kidnappers speed away, leaving witnesses in a state of shock, unable to intervene. A routine traffic stop takes a dangerous turn as a suspected kidnapper attempts to flee from the law. A law enforcement officer pulls over a suspected kidnapper on the highway, growing suspicious and ordering the individual to exit the vehicle. When the kidnapper refuses and speeds away, the officer pursues, engaging in a high-speed chase that ultimately ends with the successful apprehension of the kidnapper.
We lost control at the 39. 39 over 1, we lost control. Stop and use attack.
A brazen daylight kidnapping unfolds in Blue Downs, Cape Town. A group of armed men ambush a businessman's wife, surrounding her car. The kidnappers forcefully drags her from her vehicle into their own, executing a brazen daylight kidnapping. The kidnappers flee the scene with their captive, even leaving her car behind, prompting a search and rescue effort. A shocking and desperate situation unfolds as a woman fights for her life. The suspect, identified as the victim's ex-boyfriend, chains the woman by the neck to a floorboard in the house, leaving her helpless and alone before abandoning the premises.
Unbelievable video shows the rescue of a woman held captive, discovered with a collar around her neck, chained to the floor.
Police and firefighters respond to a distress call and arrive at the scene, discovering the woman chained.
Is anybody else in there? He did what? Is he Hispanic?
The suspect was later identified as 36-year-old Moses May, Wilson's estranged boyfriend and father to her child. She later told police he asked her to come over to clean the house. That's when he chained her up.
030 to 100. Emergency responders work diligently to free the woman, successfully rescuing her and paving the way for the suspect's apprehension.
She was there for about 5 hours before being rescued. Video shows officers follow the chain from Wilson's neck to a bolt in the floor. Officials use a hatchet to break her free.
A routine drive turns into a nightmare as a woman finds herself trapped with no escape. A group of men block the woman's car by parking in front of her, then forcibly remove her from her vehicle as she attempts to flee. Overpowered, the woman is dragged to the assailant's car and taken away, leaving her vehicle abandoned. What starts as an ordinary day takes a terrifying turn as danger approaches unnoticed. In a disturbing incident caught on video in Karachi, kidnappers attempt to abduct two innocent children who are unaware of the danger lurking nearby. The kidnappers cleverly lure the children onto a motorbike, taking advantage of their naivety, and then speed away from the scene. A seemingly ordinary moment takes a sinister turn as a predator patiently waits for the right opportunity. A suspicious individual, captured on camera, attempts to abduct a young child, staying at the same location and seemingly trying to entice the kid with an unknown object. After the child unsuspectingly accepts the offering, the kidnapper swiftly picks up the child and calmly walks away from the scene. In a shocking act of violence, a woman's simple departure turns into a brutal assault in broad daylight. A woman exits the parking lot of a mall when, suddenly, a group of men jump out of a nearby car and ambush her, overpowering her with force. The abductors carries the struggling woman into their car, ignoring the stunned onlookers who fail to intervene, before speeding away from the scene. A quiet moment turns terrifying when two strangers target a woman in broad daylight. Two individuals approach a woman lying on the sidewalk and attempt to force her into their vehicle. The would-be kidnappers try to subdue the woman, but she successfully escapes from the vehicle, prompting the abductors to retreat as bystanders begin to gather, likely deterring further violence. A peaceful moment is shattered when a woman becomes the target of a brazen attack in public.
Hey you guys, so you see the guy right there, he goes made contact with our hostage, and then he makes sway. He's the one who has the white bag, that's the suspect.
An armed individual enters a building, initially unnoticed, and later exits through the back door with two men, who are then directed into the back seat of a waiting vehicle, which promptly drives away.
He runs up.
"6 minutes later, the same guy returns to the building re-entering through the back door, and emerges minutes later with a woman and her infant, leading them to the vehicle and driving off.
As you can see, the vehicle returns at 9:19, 6 minutes later. And he enters right back through the back door again, not trying to be detected. And then he goes back in. Dog gets up. I'm assuming he is coming back out. Oh no, he's entering back in.
In an audacious act of violence, an attempted kidnapping unfolds on a busy street in Russia. Two men leap from their car and rush to the vehicle in front, trying to force their way inside. The targeted driver manages to escape by speeding away, prompting the would-be kidnappers to retreat to their own vehicle and give chase. In a heart-stopping moment, a woman sees a fleeting chance to break free from her captor at a gas station. At Buckeye gas station, a kidnapper stops to refuel, unaware that his abducted victim sees an opportunity to escape, making a desperate dash for freedom. However, the kidnapper quickly catches up to the woman, forcefully dragging her back into the vehicle before speeding away from the scene. A tense game of cat and mouse unfolds as law enforcement works to capture a dangerous kidnapper on the run.
He just made that turn. Now I think it's more southbound direction now, Spring Garden. About a half a mile from Reynolds. Next car coming at you.
Law enforcement officials closely monitor the movements of a kidnapper who is on the run in his vehicle, carefully tracking his location.
Florida Hotel Foxtrot Charlie, Juliet 33, Silver Lincoln.
South on 11 now.
We're stopping. Daughterina 11 now. Looks like I connected you.
Come back here to me then. Come back here to me.
After a successful surveillance operation, the police apprehend the kidnapper, bringing an end to the high-stakes pursuit.
1025 with a female.
What seems like a normal day takes a dark turn as a woman becomes the target of a brutal abduction. A car is suspiciously parked in the middle of the road, and a man emerges, approaching a woman on the sidewalk, where he grabs her and forces her into his car. Despite being forced into the vehicle, the woman continues to resist, fighting back against her captor, but is ultimately overpowered, and the man drives away. In a shocking act of violence at a gas station, a gas attendant becomes the victim of a sudden and brutal abduction. At a gas station in Saudi Arabia, a gas attendant is unexpectedly ambushed while filling a customer's tank as multiple individuals suddenly emerge from the vehicle. They forcefully try to put him in their vehicle, but the attendant tries to resist. He is, however, overpowered by the group, who forcefully drag him into the car before speeding away from the scene. A quiet neighborhood is disrupted by an audacious theft in broad daylight. A suspicious van pulls up in front of a house, and two individuals jump the fence, entering the property. The pair targets the house's dogs, securing them with leashes before escaping back over the fence and loading the animals into their waiting vehicle, which then speeds away. A frightening act unfolds in the heart of Queens as a child's life hangs in the balance in broad daylight. In a shocking incident in Queens, New York, a suspected kidnapper attempts to abduct a child in broad daylight, grabbing the youngster while the mother is nearby. The mother and her other children courageously chase after the kidnapper, managing to rescue the child from the vehicle, prompting the would-be kidnapper to flee the scene as bystanders gather. In a heart-stopping moment, a mother's instinct saves her child from a shocking kidnapping attempt. A daring kidnapping attempt is stopped by a quick-thinking mother, who rescues her child from being dragged away by a group of kidnappers, including the child's uncle. The mother's swift action allows her to grab her child and pull him back to safety, prompting the would-be kidnappers to flee the scene, later revealing that financial struggles motivated the uncle's desperate and illegal plan. This woman was getting kidnapped into a minivan in broad daylight and right in front of a police officer, but you won't believe what this police officer did next. It's unclear whether the policeman is afraid of the kidnappers or just nonchalant, but one thing is obvious, and it's that he's terrible at his job. In a tense moment of desperation, a kidnapping victim takes a chance for freedom at a gas station. The kidnapping victim seizes an opportunity to escape at a gas station, managing to break free from the trunk of the vehicle after the alleged kidnapper enters the convenience store. The victim rushes into the same convenience store, and upon spotting his escaped captive, the alleged kidnapper hastily retreats to his vehicle in an attempt to flee the scene. What seems like an ordinary roadside stop takes a disturbing turn when two men approach a vulnerable individual. A suspicious incident unfolds as a blue car pulls over, and two men emerge to pick up a person lying on the side of the road. The men swiftly carry the individual to their vehicle, while bystanders look on without intervening, and then drive away from the scene.